Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, the MTW build is on the bench here, and that's basically just because I've got another one of these after action reports. You'll have seen I did one on the Toxicant Spear LT and the Toxicant Rattler, and I went out for a game just gone, so Saturday. I'm recording this Tuesday night, so Saturday just before, headed up to Phoenix Airsoft with Mustang, and I went up there with two guns. So the first gun was my TAC 41, which I just wanted to give it a shakedown. This was basically a shakedown day for me. When shakedown attack 41 because I hadn't used it since all of its part changes, and I wanted to give a shakedown on the MTW build because I want to know if anything needs tweaking, this, that, or the other, before I go ahead and start Cerakoting this thing and sort of bringing it back to brand new. So first of all, attack 41 I had, it performed okay. The range was excellent on it, but the accuracy is an issue on that rifle. So I'm pointing the reticle at somebody, and either my shots were slightly going left or slightly going right, and it was really random, so it was difficult to do. So after the first half of the day, I parked that and got the MTW out. Usually I'd run an MWS, and I've run, gas blowbacks. Last time I was at Phoenix, I ran my AKM, but I wanted to give this a rundown. Now, this is how I had it set up. I was running the MiPro sight. I've got a Surefire copy light on there, and I quite like the way this is set up. It's really comfortable. I've got that little bikini hand stop, which is a Strike Industries one. So basically, I'm running the MiPro. I've got, it's got a reticle that's pretty much always on. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this here, but the reticle's always on. You can illuminate it if it's in a bright environment, and then I've got red laser and IR. So I was using that as my optic. The pressure pad is literally just used for the laser. And then I've got laser if I want to. And then I've also got my torch. Now, the only reason I put a torch on there is because there's a few buildings and structures at Phoenix where it's very dark inside. And I made that mistake last time I went there. I didn't have a light on my AKM. So when I went indoors, I had to use my pistol. So the first thing about this build, it's a very slim line. I really do like it. It's got the torch on there, which is the only sort of snag point in my opinion, but it's still low profile. I could get this even lower profile if I used a light with a mount similar to the Rattler, where it fixes to the side and then I can kind of fold it up here. That's what I might do. The sight is the sight. It's an expensive, really expensive accessory. It didn't need to go on there, but I thought it just suited the build, and it's quite comfy for me to use. So first thing I want to say about this build is it is extremely quiet. There's a lot of HPA guns, a lot of MTWs there at Phoenix on Saturday, and they're all running suppressors, and nothing came even close to how quiet this thing is. They were quiet, but this thing just takes it to a whole new level. And the reason why that's able to be done, I've got a short barrel in here and a suppressor integrated into the handguard. The barrel is set up for the gun's set up for 1 joule on a 0.3. Now, this was a bit of a mistake. I'd probably go up to a 0.4 and run it at 1 joule, basically just because there was a few. Running that short barrel, it's not going to be as accurate as running something slightly longer. So the range was good and everything like that, but the accuracy, it wasn't bad by any means. It's probably better than most guns out there. But for me personally, with all my MWSs, that was the first thing I noticed, was it just wasn't as accurate. Now, I am running a really short barrel. It's integrally suppressed. There's things I can change up, different hot rubbers and such. I am experimenting, so it's not, a closed book. That's how it is. I can get it better, I'm pretty sure. But this thing was super quiet, and the more I used it, there is nothing wrong with this gun at all. It is performing very, very well. A few tweaks I can make here or there to make it a little bit more accurate, but the gun performed flawlessly. That being said, I did have some issues with the selector. So I think when we fitted the new electronics, we put the sticker on the selector. I think that's come off. So as I got through like an hour or so, I only had semi-auto, and that's not a massive issue. Then, sort of end of the game, clear the barrel, make sure there's nothing in there, and all of a sudden it won't go on to safe. So someone did pre-warn me about this in the comments in one of the videos, I think, about running the Magpul grips, that you need to sort of slightly trim the spring down, I think what he was saying. So I think that's what the issue is there. It just won't go into safe. So comfortability wise or comfort wise, the gun performed great. It's not the lightest with that optic on there. And the other issue I have, even though I've got a QD point here, I don't have any kind of QD points on the stock, and that is an issue. So I need to figure out some way of rectifying that, whether I make a mount or something to go onto the slide and stock part. I need a sling point either at the back of the receiver or on the stock. Now I normally run a 2-point, and the way I run my 2 points is round the stock over and then attach it to either the front or the back of the rail. So yeah, it was super duper quiet, but I am in a bit of a dilemma now where, again, the gun performed really good. I can't stress that enough. It's not the fact of the gun's performance. But what I will say, there was a lot of HPA users there on the day. Now I'm running slow rate of fire, so on full auto, I think it's like 15 rounds a second compared to a lot of people running high rate of fire builds. On 2 of the mags, or a couple of the mags, they kept jamming, so I had to sort of just tap them or take them out and put them back in again. And that happened on all 3 different type of magazines. It could be a whole manner of things. It could be dirt in the magazines, which I don't think it is. It could just be an inherent thing with the platform. It could also be that feed tube that's in there, so we might get that replaced just as a precaution anyway. But what I found was that, again, there's nothing wrong with the platform. And I don't even know how to describe it to myself yet. But, coming from me using a lot of gas blowbacks, it was almost like I got a bit bored. Like the gun was fired. Every time I pulled the trigger, the gun fired. The round came out. It went a hell of a distance. One of the chaps who was shooting HPA was saying to me, 1 joule with a .3, they were really flying out there. They were taking longer to get there compared to a lot of the HPA users that were doing DMRs, but the range was there, so it was great. Now, I had more mag capacity compared to my MWSs, so instead of running like a 30-35 round mag, I got 120 round mids, and I just found that I didn't shoot the gun all that much. One thing that did help, because I was running like a sort of Cobra Hood cloak style over ghillie, not like a proper ghillie suit, but just something to just try and break up my pattern a little bit. So what that meant was that if I stayed still, most of the time, unless people were directly looking in the direction where I was shooting from, I kind of went a little bit unnoticed, and the report from the rifle is so low and it's so quiet that most of the time, if I had the drop on somebody, if I shot them, they didn't know where I was anyway. So gun performance great. It does need tweaking. Barrel and hop needs tweaking some which way or the other. If you run an MTW and you've got a absolute banging inner barrel hop setup, to be honest, I probably won't change the inner barrel, but if you've got a recommendation on hop rippers for me to try, pop them down in the comments below and I'll give them a go. Again, nothing wrong with the range. It was more the accuracy, and the only thing I can put that down to is the short barrel. I could rectify this again just by going up in BB weights. I was only using .3s. This is running an R-hopped barrel, so there's plenty of backspin there for me to use. Perhaps I'll go up to a .4 and try again and see if it gives me any better results, which I'm pretty sure it will. But yeah, I'm on the fence. So one half of my brain is getting ready to coat this thing and turn it into something beautiful. The other half of my brain is saying coat it and put it up on the website and sell it as a custom gun, and probably build another MWS. Who knows? So let me know what your preferred hop setups are on your MTW down in the comments below. Thank you very much for tuning this video. It's just a little update on what's going on with the build. So thank you very much. And as always, from me and Bench, we'll see you in the next one.